them to just totally stop. That don't make sense.
I'm a victim.
Yeah. But like, just like, how do all these women know what it looks like? And then, but then is it? I just don't. How do you guys know what it looks like? Where are the examples?
Maybe it's just what we feel we want. It could be that some of us don't have necessarily the example. I've had minimal example, but I know what I've wanted. I just didn't get what I wanted. But for me, what leadership looks like.
But I feel like a lot of women don't know there's space in that for it to happen either. Like, I don't feel like you can know how you want a man to lead, but do you know your part in him being able to lead? Like, do you know what you have to do for him to be able to lead? And I think that's the part that a lot of women forget. It's not about how you want him to lead and what you want him to do for him to lead. You have to know your part and what helps him become that leader. Because before anything, he didn't have to worry about nobody. He didn't have to worry about you. He didn't have to worry about nobody. So he wasn't being a leader. He was being himself. But to be a leader means there's people behind you. And a lot of men don't know or not aware of that because they never had people behind them. So as your woman in his life that's behind him, you got to also teach him how it's supposed to go. You got to play your role in regards to how it works as well.
So do you think if women want to take a man personal or take him seriously, then they need to lead in submission?
Yeah,
like lead with submission.
I feel like with relationships and marriage, like ultimately, like you have to be if you're with somebody good, decent, and all that, not all that bullshit about these other niggas. But if you have a decent man, yes, in a relationship or in marriage, yes, you have to be submissive. Again, be aware of what submission is, because a lot of people don't even know that. So that's why they're quick to be like, oh no, I'm not submitting. But that's neither here nor there.
But in dating, do you think that you have to be submissive to an extent?
Yeah, you're a woman. If people want to claim they want to live in their soft life, their soft feminine life, that means that you're not acting like a nigga. That means some aspect of it, you do have to kind of be the calmness. You do have to be in that state where you're sitting there and you're actually listening to what the man is saying, taking it all in regards to understanding. Not just automatically shooting him down because you're jumping to the fact, oh, this nigga probably don't know how to fucking lead. So,
How does that look like? How does that look in dating then?
I feel like a lot of that just leads with being. I feel like a lot of women are not as calm as they should be, or they're not as intentional. A lot of times with the men that they're really looking for.
And that's why you have to learn to love yourself first, so you can.
Oh man.
So Asia, what do you think? How does it look like in dating? Like, do you think you have to lead in being submissive in order to make that mesh happen?
Dating or actual relationship?
Well, no, because you're saying, because how does it? Y'all getting on my fucking nerves, man.
But when I jumped in, you screamed at me.
Clarify what he said.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Asia.
So dating, no, because we're not married. I'm not submitting to a boyfriend. Now to my husband, absolutely will submit. Absolutely. I'm not submitting to a boyfriend. And so, like I said almost an hour ago, when I submit or I put in a position of being under a man, it's because he's proven something to me in the dating stage for me to even say yes to him being my husband. When I make him my husband, it's because he's proven something to me, which is leadership. And leadership looks different for different people, but he's already shown me in the dating phase what that looks like. He looks like as a leader. And when I asked a long time ago, what is leadership? How do y'all define leadership? Meaning the men, I never got the answer. But that's very important. What does leadership look like? Because some men may think leadership looks like being very dominant. It's not being a leader. Leadership is being strategic. I think.
Can I ask a question, Asia? I think
hold on, Nay.
Okay, so go ahead.
So, Asia, in that you're saying he has to do all this proving. When did you prove you could be submissive?
So again, I'm not going to submit. Will I listen to him? Absolutely. Will I be respectful? Absolutely. But submitting, that's a different there. And you know, there's levels to submission. Put it that way, right? So
So you would submit in an instance, like in some instances, like you would show him that you could be submissive.
because there are levels to it, right? There's definitely levels to submission. So yes,
Right.
I would show that because he's earned my trust. By little minor things. I'm not saying jump through hoops of fire, but yes, there are levels of submission. I would show that I can be. I would close my mouth up quicker the next time than I did the last time. Yes. Or I wouldn't necessarily try to exert my opinion as strongly the next time as I did last time because you know, we've been through things, we discussed things. So yes, I would definitely show the because I know he wants to see me. Am I a good wife? Would I be a good wife? I'm saying during this time as well. We're testing each other. We're seeing each other work. If it works.
That's kind of what I was gonna say here. Basically, what you said. Like, so the man has to show leadership in dating, but we don't have to show submission in dating. You lost me that part. Like, I'll be rocking with you, girl, but I was a little lost in that part because I was like, you have to show some level before you can even get to the husband and wife stage. So you have to kind of show a level of submission, and he has to show a level of leadership before you can say, okay, will you be my wife? And she's like, yes. You have to show it in some sort of way. I was kind of gonna say the same thing as you, Ham.
Okay. So would you say that women do look to men for leadership then? You guys just
I
don't
said
have
that from the
faith that we
beginning.
can.
I did.
You guys just don't have faith that we can.
We all said that. I will say this, Sam, not to interrupt you, but we literally all of us on the panel said that we do look. But then we gave the part two, which was differing between us, but we all said, besides Q, we all said yes.
Yeah, the reason I didn't say yes is because I answered the fucking question that's scrolling on the bottom. He rephrased the question, so yeah.
No, I put just now or this part.
How y'all were continuing to talk about it was talking about whether or not women actually do it versus if there's a need. So my question was speaking more towards the need, which is why I came up with the historical government shit. But yeah,
Okay.
y'all continue.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I just be curious. I just be so curious about how extreme people think submission really is in a relationship. Like, because I feel like you guys look at it so extreme. Like, shut up when I'm talking.
They do.
And you better be crawling on me on all four. Like,
Nobody said that. Nobody said
that.
that.
That's different.
Nobody
But-
said
No, I'm saying the way you guys make it seem is that submission is so extreme.
no. There's levels to submission. But I said there's levels to submission. I definitely said that.
Why is there levels to submission? Shouldn't she submission just one thing?
But you said I will not submit to my boyfriend.
And then I said there are levels to submission. I said so the next time I'll keep my mouth shut quicker and I won't sit there and get my opinion so strongly the next one than the last time. So I said I would submit.
But don't you see why it gets so confusing when we ask you things? Because you just gave
provide clarifying statement. No, I'm providing clarifying statements.
No, you change your answer completely because
No,
one answer was I will not submit to my boyfriend.
My boyfriend, correct. I will submit to my husband.
Then
I gave a clarifying
to my
statement.
husband a little bit. I mean, to my boyfriend a little bit. So which one is it? Are you really not until you have a husband, or will you do it just a little bit until he wants to be your husband? That's why it's confusing because you're giving two different answers. One is
Change your answer.
There's really no gray area with it. It's either yes or no. If you would submit to your boyfriend a little bit, then don't say I would never submit to my boyfriend, only my husband. That's just all I'm asking for. You can't get mad because we're cutting you off and jumping in and all that when what you say is contradicting.
There's levels to it on this healing journey.
It's a self-love. It's a self-love.
Interesting. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. I think Q kind of hit it in terms of how the question is phrased, but I think we slightly disingenuous in saying that we look to men for it and we want it, but I think we assume that men aren't doing a good job at it, and I still got to figure out how women are the experts on what leadership looks like.
I mean, to each their own, I think, but I do think going into it with a negative connotation, you'll never get the results you look for. You desire because you already ruled them out.
Chief, you ever have a kid run a play, right? And it's a play they don't like. So when they run the out route, they run it at 60%. So of course the ball doesn't get to them or it gets intercepted. They be like, see, I told you it didn't work. No, motherfucker, you didn't run it at 100%.
Right.
Of course it's not gonna work.
Right.
You know?
So I feel like that to that parallel, which is, women walk into it at 60%, expecting it to work.
Yeah. I think it's tough. But they saying that they come in and it as genuine as possible. But it just
reminds me of that whole 50-50 mentality. It's just like, 50-50, nah. If it's not 100, you're looking for it to fail. Whatever it may be, relationship, whatever. And I think the largest part of where women absolutely submit is their jobs. And most jobs are run by men. It's interesting that women can submit for that because it comes with a paycheck or whatever. But there's all this difficulty in switching it up, and there's levels to submission and all that when it comes to your man.
Yeah, we actually had a pod, if you remember, that said most of the women on the panel were saying they'd rather have a male boss or superior at their job. Because they say it's just easier to navigate and work through and work with. I think Nate said that.
I think submission is wired in to the fabric of women. I just think this modern context gives so many opportunities to be loose and escape it that it's more viable and interesting for that to happen. I think a lot of Mary's points today was just like, it's direct. I mean, she's married, so she knows what that looks like. Adrian knows what that looks like. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. And I noticed when Mary get a smoke, that shit hit different. I don't know, that shit. I gotta assess. I'm gonna watch it back. But when Mary giving that smoke, that shit hit different.
That's that Boricua.
Yeah, man, I like it. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and we out.